Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and to this fourth episode of the Viggen build series. It's been more than a month since the last update and I have been very busy with a lot of things. One big thing is that I bought a 3D printer, and my Viggen was actually the first customer on that. So I made a couple of missile rails for this Viggen using the 3D printer. And I have also done a lot of testing with Mr. Paint lacquer paints, and more on that later on. And finally I have masked and painted the aircraft, as you can see here. So this is the result after the masking and painting. I'm very pleased with the result. The Mr. Paint or the MRP paints, they are very nice to work with. They produce a extremely nice finish, and they are very easy to spray, and they are very durable, and the coverage is excellent. So the paint is you only need to put a very thin layer of paint on the subject to achieve a good result. So I'm very pleased with the performance of the MRPs. The biggest issue was actually the masking set. It's made for the old Heller kit, and it doesn't match or fit the Terrangus kit perfectly. So my approach was to start with the large areas, like the top side of the double delta wing and the canards, and then move on to the sides of the fuselage, and the side here below the canard, and the front of the aircraft. And I try to match them so they sort of the patterns or the camo scheme sort of looked okay. And all the issues I sort of moved up to the top of the spine of the fuselage. And if you are a Viggen and camo scheme rivet counter, there are a couple of issues here that you will probably spot. But for most people, I think I did a fairly good job with the camo to make everything go together. I had to improvise a little bit just to make the sort of different areas of the camo go together. And yeah, I think that's the most part there covered. I spent something like 20 or 25 hours on the masking and painting, and my approach was to cover the whole aircraft with the masks, and then I removed the black and the tan one, painted the tan and put the mask back, and then I removed the mid-green one once, that's the lighter green color, painted them and then put them together and put them on back again. And after that I painted did the same procedure with the dark green ones, painted the dark green and put the camo on. And between each step here I used masking fluid to fill the gaps between the already painted areas before I put the next one and painted that. And the final fourth color is black, and that was painted as the last step. So yeah, so I think that sort of covers the splinter camo. On the bottom side I also used the MRP blue-gray color. I did a little bit of black basing and to get sort of a faded look. And I will weather this a lot more. And I painted the air brakes in this peculiar color. The air brakes are made from a material that is called textulite, and it's a sort of I think it's a glass fiber reinforced composite that has a sort of dark red brownish color. And I used Guns red brown for that. Okay, so I also painted the radomes of the radar warning receivers and the radar or the nose cone with the MRP black, and all the leading edges of the canards and wings, and also the tail fin was painted with black MRP. Okay, I see that I have bent the pitot tube again. I have done this so many times, so the paint has flaked off. It's that's why it's still in sort of metal tone. I think this one is actually, I have managed to avoid any serious damage on that, but this one is taking a lot of damage. So I will try to be more careful with that. So I also want to make a short comment about the MRP paints. So this is the first time I've been using them, and I think they are excellent. Really nice paints. And so these are the 4 colors for the Swedish Splinter camo. And what I noticed when I sprayed them on to a spoon, just to check the colors, was that the color in the bottle compared to what it looks like when it's sprayed onto something, it differs quite a bit. It's this area here. That is something that I guess you get used to when you are when using these paints, and it's probably a good idea to make a sort of test run on a spoon or something, just to check that the colors are what you think they are. I thought that this color was a little bit off. It's not the sort of mid-green that I was expecting. And the reason for that is that these paints are matched against fresh paint. So this is what the Viggen paint looks like when it's painted on for the first time. But over time the paint weathers and it goes more into a sort of this type of color, or even a very sort of yellowish color. And that was something that I wanted to achieve. So what I did was that I bought a couple of more paints, and I made my own mix from that, and it ended up like this. So this is more what I had in mind, with a sort of a bit weathered Viggen. And what I will do next is that I will start to post shade or weather the areas a little bit. So I will use a lighter version of or add some more yellow to the mid green and because that is the color that is most heavily weathered over time. And I will also do something to the dark green and a little bit to the black, but not so much. The tan is for some reason that paint is very resilient to weathering, so I don't think I will do anything with the tan color. So that's it, guys. I think that the next episode will be the last installment in this series. I will cover weathering and some detail painting and decals, of course, and final assembly. And after that I will make usual reveal and build video, as I usually do. And that will be released shortly after. So until then, happy modeling, and I see you in the next one. Goodbye.